So guys, I came, like I don't know kama iko na sauti because this phone is new and yet I don't know why sauti yake iko down. But I'm going to work on those things, guys. I am really trying my best to maneuver around that. So si eti sioni comments zenyu, by the way, naziona. Niko na camera, yes, but getting somebody who can you can be flexible, like anaweza kuja anytime kunifanyia kunisaidia na all this recording and everything ni hard because my schedule is very tricky. I have 5 kids. Sometimes unapata maybe ndio watu wamelala, you just want to take a video, you can't just huwezi tu shtukia mtu ati ukuja. So I'm going to use my daughter's phone. In the meantime wacha hii tulie kidogo, but it's a new phone, a very good phone. I don't know why, sijui jua kwa kitu imefanyikia, sijui. Anyway, so I came back from wherever my parents had sent me, and kurudi nikapata barua iko kwa meza, and I was asked, nikaamba nikae chini, nikakaa, kauliza hii barua ni ya nani? Kiburi watu wangu, kiburi. I was like, suulize mom si ndiye anajua hiyo story, unaona? And apparently ni kama mom alikuwa, I don't know if my aunt had informed her, so akaambia dad kwanza, dad one kwanza. I don't know what happened, but apparently dad alikuwa na the information. So I was told nitoke kwa hiyo nyumba, akirudi kutoka job anipate atanikatakata. Mimi ni nani? I think because it was in the around the evening, masaa za kulala ndizo zinakaribia. So when I went to sleep, I called dad too, nikamwambia wewe ulikuja ukaniharibia sijui nini. So and he was happy. He was like, yeah, you just come, I mean, I'm your father and everything, and I was happy that he actually was ready. Unajua kuna ile venye mtu anaweza kuwa amekuja kwa life yako, then all of a sudden is not ready to take responsibility of whatever commotion he has created in your life, but he was ready to take it. Guys, don't worry, yani ndio kuamka. Crustiness to its best, but you have to work, guys, and you have no, please subscribe. So guys, and I think in the morning, now in the morning that niliamka because he had told me asubuhi niamke nijitayarishe nitoke tukutane kwa njia tuende, and I was really ready, and I think I had really the little girl in me really needed a father, not because that one wasn't a father, but I don't know guys, yani there's still something, kuna tu kitu ilikuwa tu nataka baba, unajua. So I woke up in them. Kuna vitu mingi zile happen hiyo morning, but I'm not going to talk about them because they are just minor. So nikaenda nikakutana na yeye kwa barabara, akidrive akikuja my way, so tuka meet halfway, nikaingia kwa gari nikaenda, and tukaenda. So he told me everything that had happened when they were dating with mom and everything. So you wonder if it's the truth because this is one person talking, and hii si story ya mtu mmoja. They were two when all this was happening, so I cannot really bag on what he said, neither can I assume. I was never told anything. Tukaongea, I was taken to a restaurant, at least hapo ndo tulikuwa nakula tukiongea and everything, and he was to return me in the evening, guys. By the way, I wasn't going. He was to return me in the evening. So when we were in the car tukirudi sasa home is when now apparently tulikuwa tu karibu kufika kwa home sasa, the place that I've been living all my life, which is still my home, my beautiful home, is he was called now. Dad too was called by my stepmom, akaambiwa kulingana venye napigiwa simu kutoka huko, it seems to be a lot of issues there. There's a lot of any people are just settled, kuna two issues, and for me, for the simple fact that they had numbers to communicate was kind of tricky, but hiyo mimi sijui sitaingilia. And my dad too akageuza gari na tukaenda to his house now. And guys, me, by the way, let me just tell you the truth, nilifika kwa hiyo nyumba and I was in culture shock because I saw a big house. I saw, I was driven in a Mercedes and everything, and it was kind of something I'd never experienced before. and somehow iliendelea tu kunipatia kiburi. I mean, my father has money, you know. My friend who's laughing now, hey, because hey, I'm crying now. I wish I anyway. So I went there, nikabewa 1 to 3 that night. I don't know if done that night or the next day, but nearly have some 1 2 provisions there. They took good care of me. I can't complain. I had the greatest time of my life with my dad. Ani nilikuwa nakaa hivi mahali nasikia tu kuandika Linda someone, now my dad. And I wanted to belong, not in terms of in that house, but in terms of in my heart. I wanted to belong. I wanted to feel what it means to have your name or your father's surname. I wanted to feel how it any guy, any I used to hug him every time. I used to actually that thing ended up creating a problem because seemed like dad too never really used to hug his other kids. So when I used to do it or when he used to do it with me, it felt awkward, which I don't blame anyone. I will feel the same way. I love my siblings on both sides. I don't even call them steps. They are my siblings, and I am their firstborn in both sides. I mean, it's a whole load on your back, and I'm not complaining anyway. So it's I know like hiyo kukua kwa hiyo nyumba kwa vio me, my main aim is to have my dad. I really didn't have the thoughts of like siblings watareactaje, you know, step moms do what. I wasn't there. Me, I was for my dad. Like nyinyi wengine, ooh, my dad. But I reached there and I noticed, hey, there's family here, there's people who love me, there's you know, there's but guys, my happiness lasted a month. Yes, my happiness lasted a month. Then from there is when I knew Sijui. I remember it started the time when now I don't know. Me, I don't know if I didn't know what a suitcase is, but then me, I don't know what happened because I had taken a certain suitcase, Nika, a small one. I can also say I was being stupid, naive, or being I don't know what it was, but pia mimi nilikuwa na ujinga zangu because nilichukua suitcase nikaweka nguo zangu, and mom, my step mom came asking about the suitcase, and I don't know mbona sikusema niko na hiyo suitcase. Nikujua sikuwa najua ya suitcase ni nini because pia mimi nilikuwa by the way I was nilikuwa mshamba by the way. Okay, mshamba not in, sijui nisemaje, by the way mimi bado ni mshamba but in a certain level. Mimi kuna vitu sinanga habari nazo, and mostly zile vitu sinanga habari nazo, things that I really don't want to know in the first place. Yani you ask me, let teach me about money, teach me about life, teach me on how to handle my kids. Those other things are just bullshit. No. Now, I didn't really say I had the suitcase, and it really na venye ilipatikana ni sijui ilipatikana not ilipatikana venye waliendelea kuuliza, and I noticed what they were talking about. I said yeah, mimi ndio niko nayo. So it didn't haikumuingia vizuri, na siwezi mblame by the way because maybe she's also trying to learn me, anaweza chukua in a way that maybe msichana anakuanga muongo, maybe msichana, you know, you can think a lot of things when you encounter such a thing. This is your stepdaughter amekuja, you're trying to learn her character, and she's now lying according to her. I don't think she imagined the sijui suitcase, hata mimi sijui kama nilikuwa sijui suitcase sijui. So so guys, all this time tuko pale, I'm happy for this 1 month. Yani dad taking me places, taking me to his construction sites, you know, like enjoying life, you know, going to the office, his office, you know, like talking, man, I enjoyed that time. Like like let me tell him, like why video, dad, I enjoyed that moment. Like it was the best days of my life, and I am happy that you gave me that part so that I can cherish it for for the rest of my life, because that's the only time I can cherish. From there, you showed me dust. Dust. So after 1 month, after that incident ya suitcase, things just changed for me, and there was a lot of unhappiness. I was being sijui mimi nilikuwa natritiwa aje. Mimi siwezi sema nilikuwa being mistreated. I don't want to give it a bad name, but it was a bad thing. Any bad things just happening, you know. Any nobody cares about you, you know. People, guy, being in a place whereby you are regarded as a step anything, it's not easy. And I got to know what it feels like. That's why sometimes I feel like if ever I have to leave my kids with a step somebody, let me just go with my kids, because man, this that shit hurts. That shit is so downright bad. Let me not give it a bad name. So any it reached a point I didn't even have the right to claim my father. Not claim as in any property, but as in calling him father. It felt very hard for me. You know, it was you know, ni place you know, sijui niseme suburb ama niitaje. And there's a time I had gone to walikuwa na another house somewhere that they had put a business. So I went there and I met some white guy. And okay, I think nimerush. So everything just changed. My sisters now, my sister, I had one sister. I have, sorry, I have, and I still have love her. Yeah, I love you, sis. So any issues just began. You know, the relationship with my dad started straining, and my stepmom just turned her love into something I didn't understand. And I also don't blame her. I don't know if she felt like I'd come to take her place, because it was not normal. Like, guy, if you're not fighting for love, for the kind of love you want from this man is not the kind of love I want. We are two different people. I want father, daughter. You want husband, wife. We are different now. Eh? But vitu zilikuwa ngumu, you know. Sometimes I don't know. So results zikatoka. My dad, which I still thank him, akanipeleka uni with parallel system, which he paid a fortune and I appreciate. And I went, you know, going to college manze, hata kama wewe ni wa kusoma, manze, kuna environment huwezi soma. Yani you hata dress code, kudress tu kwenda college, you go to college, you find people dressing good, you know, people having papers sijui za revision sijui akiang'oa, yani people making their hair, people looking like they come from families, and here you're looking like a homeless a homeless something. Hmm? You don't even have, yani hata una mwelekeo, you know. Sometimes you're supposed to cook before you leave for college. And remember, college zilikuanga parallel systems zinaanza around 5:35 hapo. So you go when you have already cooked. And I had turned into somebody who just did jobs at home. I don't want to give you a bad name, but man, that unaona hiyo jina unafikiria hiyo sasa. And come back from class, ukuje uoshe hizo vyombo, you have assignments, you have to go and ask money uende kusijui kurecord, aje kuprint hizo vitu sijui nini. It was hectic. You can't even have time to go and revise. You cannot have time for friends. You cannot have time for anything. Any life ikakuwa hard, ikakuwa so tough. And it reached a point now, shule manze ikakuwa tu ni tough. And I had a boyfriend back to the place that I was raised, where my dad one lives and my family, my other family. And sometimes when nikienda shule, I will not go to school. I just go and visit him. I know that was stupid, but I really needed somewhere to just lay my head and cry, because it was too much for me. Vitu zingine sisemi hapa because they are my parents. I love them, but I also have the right to feel, to you know, to express how hurt I was. And I really don't think I care if somebody is hurt from this. I really don't, because I don't think anybody cared about what I was going through, because hizo vitu zote zilikuwa zina happen. My dad never did anything. That is what hurt me more, that he did not raise a finger. Na kama aliraise, maybe aliraise in behind closed doors. And a kid, or no, I wasn't a kid by the way, a daughter or a son or a child wants to see you defend them. He or she wants to see you actually do it, you know. Because now, meaning I was there, I was like, man, like, all these people against me because nobody's standing up for me. I only had a cousin who at least pia yeye alikuwa anatreatiwa somehow same na mimi, so we flocked together, birds of the same feather flock together. That's it. So guys, a time we are there just struggling. I'm there struggling, and I become pregnant. Yeah, the results of me going to see my boyfriend finally came. I remember that time I had really, 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 yani usingizi nilikuwa nayo si ya kawaida. I would sleep anywhere, and I was feeling sick. Na si sickness nishai feel like still, you can't even explain what you feel. So my stepmom took me to hospital, nikapimwa pimwa nini nini, wakapata hata sina shida yoyote. And actually, I almost came back home until she said, "Ebu mpime mimba." Hey, I was offended, siwezi kataa, but pia sikuwa offended sana because I knew I was busy somewhere. It came out positive, and I felt like my world just came crumbling because I was asking myself, nitaishi wapi na hii mimba? If I could go through that, that is how I felt when I was going through all that shit. What will happen to me when I'm pregnant now? Do you know guys, this my mom tulikuwa tumeenda na cousin tukarudi home, na kurudi home, I don't know if it was the same day, the second day, but what I remember she told me is, I will deal with you in this house. Hata hiyo mimba yangu actually imechelewa. According to her, nilikuwa nipate mimba kitambo. And sometimes when you are going through extreme things, uh, by the extreme yako si yangu, si ya mtu mwingine. So nikisema extreme doesn't mean that if you went through it ungesema ni extreme. Maybe yako ingekuwa hata the worst. Hata ingekuwa extreme, ingekuwa understatement. Unaelewa? So nikaanza hapo, yani I was working in the house. I turned into a full blown maid. A full blown maid now. I can say that word because it was now reality now. I worked, I did what? Yani, hey guys, I worked for the 9 months. Literally, I worked for the 9 months because I remember when my water broke. It broke some minutes to the time I was supposed to wake up to prepare my siblings for school. So nikaenda nikazaa, nikarudi home the same. And during the pregnancy I remember ikielekea kuisha, nilipatiwa kasimu fulani because I didn't have a phone. Nilipatiwa kasimu fulani nikuwe nina, in case anything happens. Guys, before we go far, nikipata hiyo mimba, hiyo utapika and everything, my stepmom told me nishuke downstairs nikuwe nalala huku kwa rooms za chini because my dad was irritated by the throwing up. So actually ningelala chini na yeye hapo kwa stairs kulikuwa na grilled door. She will close that door. So I was literally down there alone. Na venye siku hizi nakuanga paranoid. I don't know why. Niko paranoid hiyo time, ninge have a very hard time, but I thank God I was okay. I didn't feel scared or anything. So I used to sleep down there and people were sleeping upstairs. I don't know how that sat with them, but hey, I went through it and I am here. Meaning a lot of things actually made me strong. Hata siwezi complain. So I used to talk to my boyfriend through the phone maybe once in a month hivi, or maybe twice, not really every day because hiyo credit iliyokuwa hapo nitaambia watu ilienda wapi, unaona. So wakati wa kuzaa ikafika, nikazaa, nikarudi home, nikafanyishwa kazi kawaida, and I just said it within my heart that, man, I am not going to stay in this house and let my daughter see me being humiliated like this. I am going to get out. So I literally waited for a month. Yeah, that month nilikuwa nafanya kazi. But then I decided that I am going to get out of this house in a month's time. So nilimaliza 1 month, nikatoka kwa hiyo nyumba without money, without sijui nilitoka aje because I just packed my things. After packing, siwezi kuambia nini ili happen that night because I don't want to put people into a mess they were never involved in. So hiyo time yote I was able to move out. nikaingia kwa gari na mtoto wangu, nikaingia tao na suitcase actually nilichukua yake ya my stepmom. So kufika tao, I don't know nibebaje mzigo na watoto, but trust me, God was there with me, because nilifika kwenye nilikuwa naenda, which is my boyfriend's home. And when I reached there, I was welcomed well until well it became worse. So guys, I don't know kama mungetaka kujua what happened, because now nimemaliza hiyo story, maybe ninge story ya what happened after I got out of my father's house, because I regret going there, or thinking that things would be or thinking that because he had money, things would be better for me. Ha. But hey, Father, you failed me big time. But I still love you, and I love you from a distance. That's what I'll say. I love you from a distance. I don't want to be close, not because I don't love you, but because the energy is too much. Mwah.